Hey guys, we have some amazing news and analysis today that will show that Andrew Yang can and will win the whole thing. All these big data polls are pointing towards Andrew Yang's winning. Okay, so let's get started.
As this process has gone on and you've crisscrossed the state, you've seen what other campaigns are doing. Do you feel sort of kindred spirit with any other campaigns on the road?
You feel a kinship with every other candidate, Alex, because only other candidates know what we're going through.
You're an insurgent in a lot of ways, right? You're breaking the mold, you're doing things differently. Does anything anyone else is saying resonate with you?
I think that my goals are lined up with Bernie's goals in many respects. I just think I have a more modern approach that would be more effective for Americans, but I supported Bernie in the last race, and I think his diagnosis of the problems was really spot on in many respects.
Have you thought about what you're going to do if you don't get to 15%?
Yeah, we're going to get to 15% here in Iowa and many districts and precincts. I think we're going to have a ton of steam going into New Hampshire. And New Hampshire is where, frankly, our message resonates most naturally. I think we're going to surprise even more people there.
This Iowa youth straw poll just came out showing that Andrew Yang is number one. So students across Iowa voted for U.S. President, U.S. Senate, and U.S. House of Representatives. And in this race, over 25,000 total votes were cast as Trump led all vote getters with 8,639 votes. Andrew Yang led the Democratic candidates with 3,682 votes. Okay? And he's followed by Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg. And so this is super awesome. Remember, this is the poll that predicted Obama would win in 2008. Okay, so look at this: Andrew Yang at 22.5%, number one in the Democratic field. Okay, that's super convincing. And this new polling just came out. This is a national poll. Amazon national poll, okay, January 21st to 23rd, 2020. Who can make voters swing in 2020? So this shows among the 2016 non-voters, Trump voters, and third-party voters nationwide, Andrew Yang is leading, is number one at 30.4%. Okay, he's trailed by Bernie Sanders at 22.5%, Biden 15.7%, Buttigieg 9.8%, Bloomberg 7.8%, Warren 4.9%, Gabbard 4.9%. Okay, so this is super awesome. This is convincing evidence that Andrew Yang will actually win Iowa caucus and primary, and he can win the whole thing. Okay, so Andrew Yang is 30.4%, number one in the Democratic field. And now, if you do the math, okay, if you calculate Andrew Yang's actual polling, it should be something like this. Okay, so let's assume, those people, the swing voters, is about 60% of all voters, and Democratic voters were 40%. Okay, then Andrew Yang should be at 21.44%. Okay, and even if we assume it's 50-50, Andrew Yang still down to, still at 17.7%. That's still enough to put him over the bar, right, to win Iowa caucus. That is the math. And also we have this. Andrew Yang has the best net favorability. Okay, so this is according to a new Monmouth University national poll of registered voters. So this one has Bernie Sanders, Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang is leading, so his net favorability is 4%. He has 33% favorable and 29% unfavorable rating. Okay, he's the only person in the field that has a nominally positive net rating amid the group of registered voters surveyed. Okay, and this is even just this is super nice. So it may be time for Yang to start making the electability argument, okay, said Patrick Murray, director of the independent Monmouth University Polling Institute. Okay, so people who were skeptical about Andrew Yang's electability, look at this data. This is big data, okay, and this is actually consistent with the betting odds data. Okay, the betting odds data shows that Andrew Yang is the only candidate favored to beat Donald Trump in betting online's head-to-head prop wagers on the 2020 election. Yang has odds of negative 150 to Trump's positive 110. All the other candidates were favored to lose to the president, except for Sanders, which is even with betting line of negative 120. So that tells us all the polling data is deceiving right now, because the polling that we see, most of the polling we see, they only polled registered Democratic voters or Democrat likely voters. Okay, that doesn't take into account Trump voters, first-hand voters, and independents, libertarians. So let's take a look at actually this. So I previously showed you also the big data from YouTube. Okay, I'm going to show you later. So this is Trump's head-to-head odds. Okay, so you see this is as of today. Okay, the one I read to you was a few days old. So this one is more updated. So Andrew Yang has negative 145, has the best odds to beat Trump head-to-head at negative 110. Sanders versus Trump enjoy the same head-to-head odds to win the election, but still Andrew Yang is the best. While Biden and Warren versus Trump are both in plus money. Okay, so they will lose to Donald Trump. Look at that. Look at that. Biden will be losing. Elizabeth Warren will be losing even worse. And I also did this analysis previously using election betting odds data. So this one actually, I'm sure this is fun. What is Andrew Yang's betting odds of winning over Trump? Okay, look at that. So I put a description below about the previous analysis to remind you. This, what we're calculating here, is the probability. So PA is the probability of this candidate winning the election, and PB is the candidate winning the primary. Okay, winning the nomination. And so PB over PA is the probability of the candidate winning the election in the event that he or she was nominated. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. I put a link of the previous detailed analysis, mathematical statistical analysis below, if you are still confused about this, the reasoning behind this analysis. But here's the data. Okay, as of January 22nd, 2020. So if we calculate PB over PA, which is the probability of a candidate winning the presidency in the event he or she was elected or was nominated. Okay, so Andrew Yang has a 100% chance. Okay, if you use the betting data online, remember this is big data, and this is more trustworthy than polls because people are betting with their own real money. Okay, and also they must come up with the best estimate. They have a lot of insights from things outside of polling. Okay, and so Trump has a probability of 57.5. Okay, that number actually has been relatively stable over time, and Bloomberg has the second best chance in as of January 22nd, followed by Amy Klobuchar. Okay, that's kind of surprising, but it is what it is. And let's actually listen to what Andrew Yang said about his chance of winning. Okay, so super consistent.
Now we're going to spend a few minutes with Democratic presidential hopeful Andrew Yang. He says he is confident about his chances of becoming the party's nominee, even though nationally he's polling at about 2%.
Oh, I 100% can win. I'm running to solve the biggest problems of our time.
I mean, you clearly have great ideas. Love the ideas.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, see, Andrew Yang said he 100% can win, and that's consistent with this big data analysis using the betting odds data online, right? Yang wins 100%. Okay, of course we have to be realistic. So that, remember, the betting odds data are fluctuating over time. Okay, it's updated every 5 minutes. So let's take a look at the most updated data. Okay, that's as of today. So Andrew Yang has 60% of chance of winning. Okay, and Donald Trump is 57.8. I'm a little bit disappointed that Bloomberg actually is showing 64% of chance of winning. I'm disappointed because that shows, billionaires can actually buy their way in. This is opposite to, what we expect from the democracy. But I mean, the data is what it is. I'm just presenting to you what data shows. Let's take a look at one more time, okay? Betting odds, election betting odds. Just to make sure Bloomberg data is right. Oh, actually, this is not updated. Okay, Bloomberg now is 14.8%. So 6.9 divided by 14.8. Let's see what that is. Sorry about that. So, okay, so this might be old data. Okay. Yeah, that's old data. Sorry, this is the no, Bloomberg. Yeah, Bloomberg. This is the new data. Okay, let me copy this over. And then see what is Bloomberg's rate. Okay, now it's 46.6. Okay, so that makes more sense actually. I just want to make sure this is correct. Okay, so Bernie Sanders 35.7. Yeah, 16.5. 15.6. Yeah, it's fluctuating, but yeah, see the data just fluctuated, but you get the idea. I mean, you can do the same analysis too. I'm gonna post this later. So yeah, so the betting data from two online sources pointed to Andrew Yang has the best probability of beating Trump head to head. Okay, and this is the YouTube data that I showed you previously. Okay, so this is the number of views. Okay, I'm comparing across the field the number of views for everything Andrew Yang said during the Atlanta debate and the same time Bernie debate. Bernie during debate, Tulsi Gabbard, Tom, etc. So Andrew Yang has the most number of views. Okay, significantly leading others people, and the like to dislike ratio, which I describe as the likability ratio, is the highest. Is 38 over 38, and Bernie is about 10, and Tulsi Gabbard 12. Tom's and other people are near 1 or below. Okay, and that apparently shows you why Cory Booker and Kamala Harris dropped out. Fewer people like them, and that also tells us that Biden and Amy may drop out at some point. Okay, yeah, I hope that's very convincing. So all these data are pointing to Andrew Yang has a clear path to winning. Okay, the only thing I'm a little concerned is that he still does not have enough visibility. I mean, to a lot of people, if you go on the street and ask people, do you know Andrew Yang? Still, I think 80% of time you hear a no. So that's the only issue. But I think that would not be an issue after Andrew Yang shocked the world with the Iowa caucus and New Hampshire primary. Okay, so let's look forward to that. All right, thank you for your attention. Please like and subscribe and comment below.